this team fight and make the Taric ultimate last. So many times. Huhi was just too good, engaging, then disengaging. The entire team as a whole for 100 Thieves, you would see them expand and contract around this short cooldown for Cloud9, and it actually was not successfully utilized one single time that game. That's what this team has been applauded for the entire Lock-In tournament. 100 Thieves, they are very well coordinated. They are also very good individual players. They also need to start getting their individual credit. They have shown up very big here in the Lock-In tournament. Now, on red side though, they do probably go with the same standard bans. Does Taliyah follow here? Olaf and Pantheon already found their way. The standard top lane bans as well for Cloud9. So maybe we do have Fudge going into Ornn duty or just playing front line with some sort of hard engage. They double down on the Udyr. Udyr's not the problem, Freak. He can hard farm. He got the first 2 kills. I do expect a top lane change for them, though.
I expect one here as well. I didn't really like Ornn duty for Fudge. It was one of his worst performing champions, although the Graves was, I think, similarly lackluster, so maybe it really is going to be Ornn duty down the line. I'm not sure. Either way, though, yeah, I think Blabber has been good, and I am curious what this draft is going to look like, because we talked about Fudge replacing Licorice, we talked about Perks replacing Niski, but also keep in mind that Reignover is taking over as head coach instead of Reaper. That's another difference here, and we were wondering, okay, can Cloud9 go back to the more scrappy, engage-based style for Game 2 or Game 3, and we still are not really sold that any of their comps have looked that good. And you know, this is a coaching change. It's Reignover's, I believe, first team being head coach on, and yes, Mithy's been around the block for a while, but there's still a lot of question mark pings in the draft, I feel.
And it's kind of, you know, matching draft with execution and with the players. One of the things that has felt a bit off is so much disengage, when previously we've known Cloud9 to be so aggressive, so forward-facing. We're again going to get at least some of the pieces in a similar look here. Lulu also locked in to provide that support. I think this can be a normal Cloud9 comp. You know, just having Lulu doesn't make it a kite back and shield comp. That just means you do have those supportive, you know, tendencies that can come from Vulcan, and you can have the hard engage come from somewhere else. Yone and Udyr have very good tools that you can use, as we saw, but just require a little bit of extra something to get there, probably from the top lane. Again, we're building this up all the way towards the end of the draft for that pick here. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves are blind picking their Aatrox with the security, knowing that they can throw band number 4 and 5 towards Fudge to further whittle this down.
Yep, a bunch more picks of Kai'Sa for FBI. Happy to play that champion constantly. Of course, a great consistent damage dealer. You have a bit of poke if you really need it, but honestly, the strength is that you can always follow through on your team's hard engage. It's one of Kai'Sa's biggest strengths, is you are always going to be there putting out the damage on the priority targets who've already been locked down by the rest of your team, who's all bringing hard crowd control. So love that pick a whole lot. Bans coming through onto the bottom lane, seeing the Lulu here. They're saying, yeah, Aphelios may still be the comp. Zen, honestly, generally been a really good player. He's averaged 1 death a game the entire season so far. And yeah, he's been a great performer. Even the last game on Moonstone Seraphine was still the highest damage performer on his team, not going for Leandries or any other damage builds. He's still outputting the most. This is Ven trying to kind of 1v9 because he's not got a lot of help with him right now, as Seraphine jumped the table as well. Yeah, honestly, he was good on both those champions, so just, hey, show us champ number 3.
He has been the most consistent carry for Cloud9. Him and Blabber have been the 2 power players thus far for C9, so it does make a lot of sense. Those are the 2 players getting 100% of the bans from 100 Thieves, Freak. Taking out those 2 positions and locking in the Alistar would be huge. I think that they should lock this hover in over. It takes it away from the Cloud9 side, because Lulu, they've already shown they're willing to flex it around. It could still be flexed into a support role.
Definitely could be. Of course, one thing to watch for is where it does go. We know the Aatrox is top lane 100% of the time. 100 Thieves is going to leave mid lane for last here. Galio is still an option when needed this time around. We are going to get Senna coming through. That champ is outstanding. Tahm Kench going to be alongside it. Not a huge Tahm Kench fan personally. Lulu is going top lane still. And it means, once again, we only really have one strong side lane for Cloud9 once mid game comes around.
It is going to be interesting, and already, you know, people are going to theorize what went on in Cloud9 scrims last week that led to this kind of look for Fudge and for the team. But as you're saying, yeah, it looks like he is on Lulu duty once again. Tahm Kench at least into the Alistar does have his usefulness. Not super great overall in the meta right now, but does provide still that safety. Can trade decently well too with other melee supports. And honestly, I'm kind of looking at this Lilia pick into Udyr because that can be one of the most frustrating matchups for Udyr because Lilia does have so much control if she comes to the fight having previously stacked up the passive. If not, then Udyr can get on top, especially with the phase rush. And with Flash, you can flash on top. You can stay within range and get inside the Qs if she doesn't have her passive previously stacked up. You can get the chase down. If you can't, though, then it actually turns into she keeps you at range. So. Yeah. For frustrating long with the swirl seed slowed, with the burn on you constantly, with the Qs. So it's going to have to be a pick and choose your moment here for Blabber on Udyr. And again, you expect very heavy PvE focus, especially early on from this champion. The biggest strengths for Udyr have been, you know, the adaptation of Tiger attack speed buff on top of all the Phoenix buffs that really get the most out of those Phoenix procs.
Tiger, Phoenix, Bear at 4. You power clear and you get around the map getting stuff done, but even Blabber's double kill at level 4 was not enough to win the game for Cloud9. They needed even more. We are at the Rift once again. Sven here on bot lane Senna, and across the 4 AD carry Sennas we have seen so far in 11.2, it's been Kraken Slayer. It's been attack speed scaling Senna. Her attack speed scaling overall got a lot better. There's more beneficial interactions with Kraken Slayer because your Q will give you one of the stacks. And even though her overall attack speed is still not outstanding, it is a competitive build as far as solo Q win rates are concerned. And it's the one that the pros are using. I don't think you have to go Kraken Slayer Senna, but you certainly can, and it's fine.
Yeah, and it feels the best, for sure. I like playing it the most. I know a lot of the pros also really, like changes to the wind-up there, since the attack speed is going to help and got that, slight buff as well. Let's take a look at the starts, though. We did have Blabber swapping over. You drop your ward. You can see this up in the river, top side, just over the pixel brush to see if there is, any sort of variation in Closer's path going aggressively. Swapping over to the sweeper is pretty important for Udyr early on because he's definitely one of the champions that does like doing the full power clear into gank as we saw last time around. And swapping over to sweeper gives you the confidence to make sure you're not over first trinket ward if your laner hasn't tracked it. Ideally, they can alert you to full presence if you haven't been swapping over their lane as much. But it's definitely a champion. Like, Udyr really does like using flash for ganks early on because you have such a strong farming fallback pattern.
Ooh, and I gotta correct real quick. I forget if you were talking about this and I just missed it. They have a sort of role-swapped Vulcan and Sven. Apologies if I'm repeating the sentence, but it is a Doran's shield for Vulcan, and Sven is the harasser getting the Spectral Sickle out there. So it's probably not going to be Kraken Slayer or Senna after all. It's going to be, maybe a Manamune or something. But they are just getting the harass down.
And they did buff the soul generation for not last hitting. That was one of the more significant, honestly, parts of the Senna buffs, even though we have still been seeing it primarily AD carry. You spawn more of the souls from minions that you do not last hit, and you get more gold out of them.
Well, we're level 3 right now. Blabber right now holding on to his skill point. Says, okay, I need Bear after all. We're not done. We have to go bottom side. And now here comes the flash engage. Good flash away from Blabber. Gets away from headbutt pulverize. Good to see that one coming. I think he may have done that from over the wall, and so that was on reflex. Blabber really wanted to be bottom side because C9 was pushing under the turret. They knew there was the risk of Lilia starting top side and going down there. That's nice pathing by Blabber. End of the day, though, it's flash for flash, and Huhi with Hex Flash isn't even losing that much.
Yeah, that critically could have lost them all of the early game for Cloud9. If Blabber doesn't correctly flash that and dies there, that is just a complete collapse for them. So very, very good flash by him. Fudge even whittling down Someday super heavily on the Lulu this time around, keeping him in lane, pressured under tower, losing CS, but bottom is the play.
Flash, nice. They force Vulcan to flash out as well. Some harass out from Sven, but Closer's going back in for this side of the map. He's already gotten all the 6 camps done, right? There's nothing else to do, but hey, let's try again with Hexflash, see what you got there. And it's another flash burn, so well done. Someday has to take a pretty rough recall. Will have teleport, of course. He's not going to lose much, but Fudge having a much better time over here now that Blabber can be on his side of the map. I don't think this is a tower dive. Don't think you get anything done right here, but it will be a much safer recall on Fudge's side.
Yeah, that was just a consideration for Krugs, but with teleport coming back from Someday, doesn't want to stick around too long. Meanwhile, Closer, a very long time down on bottom side, so it was canceled by Blabber. When you see the enemy jungler down bottom, the teleport all of a sudden doesn't mean that much. He was previously recalling because he was worried about the reset from Closer plus teleport from Someday into defending their Krugs. But with the reveal down bottom, you see on the minimap, full Krugs counter jungle there for Blabber. This is the cost for Closer sticking around for the second interaction on bottom side of the map. Blabber will correctly yoink away both those camps, given the extra vision provided by his bottom lane.
And goes back to his own full clear, so we are going to see an XP and gold lead for Blabber, as he typically does in the jungle. Certainly, yes, Udyr an incredible power farmer, but even when he's not playing the champion, he tends to always build himself the lead, and then tries to carry that into Cloud9's mid game. As
only option
already done for Closer. He's going to be spotted on this ward. Sven, he is just out of headbutt range, has to flash the swirl seed. That would have been a kill. And I mean, honestly, if you're going to flash anything, might as well flash that skill shot instead of waiting for the Alistar to catch up to you. Still got to be careful of round 2 and all this. The control ward not going to be much, of course. Wanted to get vision with that one to see someone. End of the day, wasn't going to mean much, and there's just going to be the wave clear top side and bot lane staying alive as Closer goes back to his jungle.
And I want to talk about jungle pathing theory just because that should be a predicted play right there. You have Blabber communicating, oh, hey, we see the non-reset from Closer on the bottom side, so I'm taking his full top side camps. He takes Krugs and Raptors. If you don't see after the reset Closer showing himself towards mid, he has to be on his bottom side camps, clearing his wolves into more bottom side pressure, and they make that choice to go for the fight.
Fudge is not level 6 just yet. A very easy dive aggro pull, but Amante dropped right back out. Those globals keep happening. You ban away TF. He finds 2 more champs to play. First blood again for 100 Thieves.
They're just picking on the new kid in town, Freak. Fudge is the youngest player in the LCS. Fully transformed over. Can he get away? Constant slow.
Got no flash. I mean, one more auto kills him. Summoner heal finally is enough. FBI waited as long as he could. Throws up the OK. It's a lot of damage dealt, but it's a minion wave dying to the turret. Of course, Vulcan was part of that chase down. And so Summoner heal for maybe 100 or so gold is maybe not a trade you love, but it's not as bad as it might look. Blabber, thankfully, because of the bot lane pressure, because of the top lane gank, finally, I think the first time all series, gives Cloud9 the first dragon.
And it's all in credit to Sven and Vulcan. They have played that bottom side without pressure so freaking well. Here's another look at the top dive. The mechanics on it are very easy to pull off, so we don't have to restate those. Just root right there from Demonte into 100% certainty on your death for Fudge. He knows he's not going to burn his flash. He's completely dead there. That is trump cards that you have, 3 people realm warming up to the top side. And what it means, though, is going to be more important. Full top side invasion for 100 Thieves. Closer gets to take some camps back from Blabber, who had controlled full income here for the jungle matchup because of the top side focus that Closer had spent so much time there inefficiently trying to deny Cloud9's bottom lane. They did get the flash out of Sven, and Vulcan had to use his way earlier in the pressure, but I still think big props to Cloud9's bottom lane for avoiding disaster down there, for absorbing so much pressure. Now it has started to surface in a CS difference, but Vulcan had been staying quite competitive in the first couple of ganks, and it's only after that last big double wave was denied to them that they really started to fall behind. Plus, they're still getting a lot of value out of Senna increased soul generation down here.
Sure, they're getting value, but you can see the gold difference has just been growing over time, and that's with top being competitive, with jungle being a lead for Blabber. It is a 1,000 gold lead, 400 above what you normally get from the first blood and the assist. So it is 100 Thieves winning in the farm game, and it's showing even despite support, gold income, and everything else going across. Money is in 100 Thieves' pockets. That's being answered by a dragon, but probably still 100 Thieves favored. and they've been playing every mid-game better, regardless of how the early game has been going. So Closer now getting the Herald as well, as Top Scuttle was already on their side. It's going to feel pretty comfortable. You've got no one coming around to stop them just yet. Devontae roams to help make sure it's going to be safe. You've got Someday coming down to do the same. And just for good measure, FBI and Huhi were on the way up. They see that no one is answering. They're going to go back to bottom lane to grab their own wave. They'll lose maybe a minute or two. Otherwise, not much of a problem. Closer going to pop that eye.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in game number 1 for 100 Thieves. How this focus is so effective because you don't have to swap your support up for these Rift Heralds. These are the cash money Rift Heralds. You get early 9.5-minute Rift Herald based off of your top pressure that has been a constant in this series, and you're able to do it without giving up anything on the bottom side. Just huge pressure generation for the early game, because it's not just about, yes, there's still turret plates available, we can cash in, but you also get the wave paid just to finish off these early turrets. You get so much extra pressure that you can start knocking down the dominoes from top side, start opening up the jungle to a little bit deeper wards because you get so much extra turret damage. And here we go.
Big flash play, chomped up, but they're going to still find the rest of the engaged. Ven has nowhere to go. That cloak is not going to matter at all. He's stunned. The ult is just too late. FBI grabs the kill. 2-0 100 Thieves in a straight up 2-on-2 kill.
Guess what? So much bot lane focus early on. As soon as they hit level 6, the old Alistar plus Kai'Sa full engage. This is a double stacked wave as well. So at the worst time here, now Cloud9 get denied tons of minions. They bring down the Rift Herald. This is a collapse though. Blabber's heading over on Udyr. Do they want to teleport Perks in as well?
Is enough to kill Vulcan. The ult comes back out for the shield. He's going to be living quite a while. Huhi is low. FBI's under 300 as well. Vulcan's going to live. Closer's going to die. And this chase on an FBI should be enough. 2 kills picked up. Perks has arrived as well. The ult to get the kill steal. And this was a bridge too far. Cloud9 roamed in time. And that dive is a 3-for-0 to Cloud9.
Yeah, they actually would have loved to not use the teleport since they held on to it for so long, and Blabber could have finished up the kill. But since they did start channeling it, since it started going so well, might as well give the extra money over to Perks for expending that. It does leave a vacuum in mid, though, with mid for Cloud9 teleporting down bot side. Guess what? Fudge, you better be worried. Look at that mini-map. He is. Demonte started roaming up immediately after pushing in that wave due to the extra teleport down. And you have to know that the Rise teleport is now going to come up quicker. Here's another look at the dive onto Vulcan, though. He's able to get off his gray health and buy so much time so that they even have to flash back in to try and finish him off. He still lives here, and he's able to just completely bait in the rest of 100 Thieves. The rest of the minions also cleaned up for the squad, even with the slightly unnecessary teleport. Here we go.
Closer gets slowed. They're going to find the root on Huhi as well. Doesn't have his ulti, so he doesn't have a good way out except for reinforcements making it dangerous. He's stunned up. Blabber's on the front line. They can't finish the kill. And they're going to have him run away as fast as they can. One more auto would seal him almost, but they can't find that one either. Couple of slows don't mean enough either, and Cloud9 going to walk away, nearly getting the kill on Huhi, but the Tahm Kench ult does not result in extra gold income.
And that's a huge relief for Cloud9 that they're able to get that Rise teleport down. That was the big swinging factor from the last fight where they were going to be worried about the next play. But again, good evasive maneuvers on bottom side. Blabber turns tail. They don't overextend for the Huhi kill. He lets Huhi go. He escapes with his life, allowing them to reset and get this. Well, can he get the crab?
Looks like it's going to be claimed. Now the time to run away is, it's now. 500 gold lead back on Cloud9's favor. Dragon is alive, and Aatrox is already here. So 100 Thieves saying, look, this is the play. We're going to get Dragon number 2. Going to make sure we can claim this one. You can see Cloud9 recalling on 2 members right now. They're going to give this one away. This is going to be an easy, clean pickup on the Dragon. A tight gold game overall, and I got to say, I'd probably value farm on Kai'Sa more than I value farm on Tahm Kench, so I'm not even sure the scaling is decent on Cloud9, to say the least. Rift Herald will not quite one-shot the turret, but FBI can get the rest of that no problem. As long as the wave comes in, it should be okay. Perks on the way out as Someday and Demonte keep walking back to the correct side of the map. Fudge got some alone time on the top side. Went Moonstone yet again. Mid lane cannon going to be lost to Perks there. Wave going to be pushing to the turret. Fudge not going to get any plate gold. Played it maybe more defensively than he should have. He knew where Aatrox was coming. Could have earned some more money for himself. Instead, he's roaming down towards mid. 30 seconds to go till the plates drop all the way. Bot lane indeed did fall. FBI got a whole ton of cash. Recalled. Kraken Slayer is done. That's going to be very comfortable.
Yeah, everybody starting to get their mythic items coming in here. As you mentioned, your farm on Kai'Sa being so valuable in this game. Completely agree here. FBI has the possibility of turning up so many of these picks as well, because there's so much CC on this team, 400 Thieves, and this is still the stage of the game where they're still very spread out between these lanes. So you rotate FBI and Huhi towards mid lane so that they have flexibility of trying to pressure anybody rotating on the side of Cloud9. And we're going to have to see if they get down their vision through the river, because that becomes very difficult to deal with. Even though the gold is so close right now, the pick potential for 100 Thieves is very big. Vulcan is is still trying to hover around Sven and trying to use his defenses there. So everybody else very vulnerable.
Well, items coming through pretty soon. We do have the medic coming through for Closer. He's got the Moonstone Renewer. Even in Master Plus solo queue, the win rate is substantially lower than a damage item like Leandri's. You can hope that this is just the composition where it works, but even in very high skill brackets, it doesn't win as much as just getting pure damage. So I don't know. For me, the jury is kind of out on whether it's even a good item at all for these kinds of builds. Regardless, though, it's going to be a double root. Pretty good damage. Nice chunk on a Huhi, who, again, yeah, he's just losing health as this happens. Regardless, though, they get the wave clear. He can try to heal back up with his passive down the line. Still a pretty close game. Gold basically equal. Dragons equal. Turret still up 1 on the 100 Thieves side. Herald number 2 started.
All right, they're already calling the early rotation from Perkz here, though, for Cloud9, so they force 100 Thieves right off of that. Perkz, you can see he spent his time on bottom side pushing up the wave to be able to gain that extra pressure and vision on bottom half. Rotates up to mid, and maybe Closer goes for some very silly seed steal.
If there was no smite.
Yeah. There's sometimes that happens too, because you don't want to use your smite on the Rift Rail, and you just easily take it down because you don't sustain a lot of extra threat or something. But no extra value, or no extra threat gain there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of skill shots that come from Fog of War, right? It's the Lily on one side. There's even the chance that it's the Kai'Sa for the other. So, yeah, you're on the Scuttle Crab. So, smart for Blabber to burn the Smite. Obviously, it was the right call as the Closer was looking for it. Everyone, they played the best they could have with the available information. But, the right choice for Blabber means he never loses the Rift Herald. So, okay, that's been claimed. No big problems there. Herald will be in inventory and usable by the time Dragon number 3 spawns. So, maybe they can create extra map pressure that way from Cloud9. That'll be one thing to look at for sure. Of course, Vulcan, with a lot of income, has been able to rush Lock-It early thanks to having 108 CS. But again, I take Kraken Slayer over Lock-It in most games, and FBI with 156 CS is going to be a huge problem in these games.
Yeah, he definitely is. So is the Rise, by the way. Demonte here does have the Leandri's completed. Maybe one more reason why Closer went for the Moonstone. He's going to be able to spread that burn himself. And he should be able to retain control of these side waves, even though he's down significantly in CS to Perkz here, with the extra 30 going over. It, again, for Cloud9 side, looks like it might be difficult for them to actually get the fight that they want, unless Blabber is able to get a good Turbo Chem tank into Flash on a priority target here. It is, again, once... going to be looking for one of those possible picks. Can he start it now?
Big chunk there on a Blabber, half HP. The sun goes back on a Huhi. He's got the ulti on, though, and he's a little bit too slow to die. Is there any re-engage to be found? Sven finds a ward to kill. Closer the same. Herald going to be summoned mid lane because the dragon's spawning in 12, so wave clear into leave. Does someone answer mid lane? If you don't, it will kill the turret by itself. Bit of poke comes through for Closer, and Cloud9 says, you know what? We'll take the turret. We'll finish this one off first. We'll go ahead and put a couple of autos in, put the Q, put the autos, try to knock this one down. They will claim gold, and that's 500 into the pockets, spread across all of Cloud9. But now, because 100 Thieves had to go all the way back into mid lane to keep answering that push, no one's in the river to answer this dragon. It's going to be slower. It's dragon number 3. It's a Mountain Drake, but you can see where everyone 100 Thieves is going. They are going to give this one away. No one's close to soul. They're going to give this positioning up and let Cloud9 not only get mid lane, but the dragon as well.
Yeah, and they're going to trade it. Again, you see topside invade into the remnants of that topside tower 2 for someday. who, by the way, there definitely does need to be some healing reduction. Grievous Wound picked up here. Not only is it Aatrox, but as you mentioned, the Renewer on the Lilia providing a decent amount of healing too. So it's not like there's this huge, healing and support difference like we had in the previous one. Both of them exactly to the team fight this time around. So to me, the big difference is going to be, again, Huhi, who has been so big for 100 Thieves with these flanks with Alistar, but this time around they also have Lilia sleeps to work with. And previously, Closer had been quite good at getting those multi-person sleeps.
Well, I've got good news for you, Kobe. We've got 3 Executioners calling across the inventories right now. Sven's got one, Someday and FBI have one as well. Senna has just unfettered target access. It's very easy to apply. If she's hitting someone, it's probably the right target, so that's going to work pretty well. And across Someday and FBI, you're likely to get that one as well. Executioners works on, I believe, any physical damage, so Executioners should work with her Q across the entire team for the 3 seconds duration. Should be pretty reasonable application, should be about as good as you're going to get until you upgrade to the Tier 2 versions down the line. Which may be coming, but not instantly here. Fudge now in a battle with Someday, gets away from the second Q, gets away from the third. Pretty equal trade of blows. Honestly, it'll be easy for Someday to sustain back up with the next wave. Blabber coming around, though. Small possibility of a fight. Not going to have it.
Again, 100 Thieves trying to keep up, the pressure on the map. Someday, even without the rest of the team here, confidence to poke in, get his deeper vision himself, keep his wave forward so that the rest of the team actually had time to reset, bring their control wards back out in Closer and Vulcan. And look to try and get it deeper into the red quadrant. Damonte actually going for the 1v1 on this. It must be Alistar trailing. There we go. Huhi's on the way.
All right, so 1v1 with a 2-level deficit. Teleports come in. Alistar here as well. Perk's got to be careful. Ult comes in. The Donia's going to buy some time. Fudge comes in for the ulti as well. The re-engage, it's almost enough. What were you looking at, Sven? That ult was so late. The team comes around. Damonte finally goes down to Fudge, but the chase down's going to be enough. How does that ult come in after he dies? Now the fight continues. Sven, he's not long for the world. He's asleep. He's been chomped up, though. Closer over the top, but can't find any damage as the downtime is to run away. Blabber the same. They find a stun to Closer, but the re-engage coming across as well. Blabber, he's getting low. The autos come in. They can't quite find the kill, and then we'll walk away. It is 1 kill for 2. Still a benefit to 100 Thieves, who he comes right back in and just shuts down Sven. His second death of the game. Beautifully done by Huhi.
Oh my goodness! Senna trying to wind up an auto on Huhi, and he just charged straight at Sven. Pops him like a balloon here. Double summoner still up. Huhi not messing around again. And the entire 100 Thieves team, Freak, heading towards this mid stage, even with the gold close. You still have this feeling because 100 Thieves have the greater setup. They're the ones with the proactive mindset. They set up a side lane pick for themselves. Damonte, even with a 2-level deficit, just waiting for his teammates to come, they're already immediately channeling the teleport with the trail from Huhi. They get the kill onto Perks and then chase down the entire rest of Cloud9. This confidence goes through the entire squad. Meanwhile, you see Cloud9 just kind of hovering around mid, setting up with everybody, so they're forced to just play defensively. And yeah, it's a teleport in, but it's just going to be a Lulu arriving. So since they've got the extra person in Huhi trailing here, and Damonte was ready the entire time with his stopwatch trying to bait, they buy just enough time, even though Damonte does go down. The extra chase is followed up, and Closer does such a good job from over the wall here. He lands the slow, then waits for them to pop out here with FBI coming over the wall as well on Kai'Sa for the chase down, knowing that they can force them through with Someday. But I honestly thought it was done. Sven's like fighting off all the enemies, 100 Thieves, I don't care, but Huhi's having none of it. Immediately combos him.
And I guess Sven is saying, okay, I have flash. If you headbutt, I'll flash to dodge and we'll kill you on the re-engage. But Huhi's like, nah, flash Q, it's good enough. And happy to burn the cooldown.
Yeah, try and do it. Maybe as well. I don't know what the cooldown on Tom Kench Devour was, but communication there. Either way, with the Q flash, able to pop him immediately, and there's no time for Cloud9 to regain any sort of footing.
All right, 2.3 thousand. Easy kite away for Damonte with Phase Rush. I will say, though, I think this game is going to hinge a lot on perks. As the gold gets worse and worse, there is a level difference that needs to be pointed out, which is the level 15 Yone to the level 13 Rise. Yes, of course, Aatrox is catching all the side lanes on the 100 Thieves side. That's kind of the more apt comparison. but Yone has a bunch of gold. He's got a Lulu to buff him up. He's got a Senna to buff him up. This comp is basically Perks and friends, and he's got to be the one that gets it done. Very good farm. 266 is the highest in the game. Level 15, highest in the game. My eyes are on him to be the carry that Cloud9 wanted him to be when they got him from G2 at the start of this year.
Definitely agree. We're going to need to see the big carry out of Perks here. Rest of the squad hasn't had the DPS to do it. Baron started up by 100 Thieves. They want to force it. Who has Hex Flash. Watch for the turn.
Watch for the turn. Watch for the re-engage as well. He's going to come in. Double knock up there on the front line. Perks has to kite away with Q3. The Senna ult comes in, finds a couple of targets. Closer kites around. When Sleep come through? Not just yet. They're going to wait this one out. When's the re-engage come through, though? Someday going to be rooted. This could be a very big hit. He's going to lose a lot of health. Has to flash. Here comes Yone over the top. It's one so far. The re-engage isn't going to be enough. Who? He's running away for his life. They'll find a second, though. And it's time for Cloud9 to keep on going. The heals keep pumping, and the kills keep coming across. It's 3-0. Cloud9 in the 5-on-5 completely smash 100 Thieves.
And it finally works for them, Freak. They're able to sustain through the fight. Cloud9 re-engaging on the flash bear slap from Blabber, chasing the rest of 100 Thieves down. That will be a Baron as a reward, unless we have Closer with the craziest of steals.
Does not have flash, cannot smite, can only go for the E. There's no smite! Oh, that was still scary. It went down to 98. Closer, I believe in Fog of War, timed the E within 100 health.
Threw that seed on there. That was definitely a clincher, but Cloud9 are able to get it, and now they can breathe easily. Dragon number 3 plus Baron at their hands. Time to get that money.
There you go. There's the pickup. Dragon number 3, one away from Soul, and suddenly your team is so tanky when you've got Mountain Soul alongside all the supports on the squad. Mikhail's already in for the Lulu, still going more supportive. Perks is catching the waves. He's got to be the one to carry this team across the line.
All right, so Cloud9, they're waiting. Wow, 100 Thieves grouped up inside the Baron pit. They do take the initial engage, and it is a good kite during the Lilia ultimate. You see Perks there, unharmed after both Alistar combo is down and Lilia sleep. So they know nothing left to fear. They sustain through the fight. Senna heals coming through. Lulu Fudge finally gets to do his job, just buffing up his teammates for the chase. And Blabber just living the Udyr dream life, where you constantly have the heals, shields, and speed being applied to chase down your foes. Then there's no problem picking up that Baron, despite how close it was to even a tick of dot damage, stealing it away.
There we go. Damage. Last team fight. Actually, big numbers again out of Sven. It wasn't really so much Perks as everyone else, but now, once again, on to Hu. He's got to run backwards. Alistar makes him very tanky, able to walk away pretty cleanly. So no problems right there, and I got to give credit. Again, 3 games in a row. Sven seems to be, no matter what he's on, no matter how supportive his champion, he is the one putting out the numbers in every single one of these fights. Very, very well played to him. Even if Perks is getting the XP, it's still Sven putting out the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, the changes to the soul generation for support Senna, the increased gold off those souls as well, he is putting it to use. And remember, Sven was one of the best Senna players that we had last year as well. Definitely showing up for Cloud9 here.
Flash engage for Closer, should be a 2-man sleep. His health bar very, very low. Senna comes to the top, doesn't do whole lots of stuff as a 3-man knockup comes through for Hui. Into the back line goes FBI, but Lulu will going to kite that one away. He's got a flash, but he's going to get chased down. You're going to die for this one. Sven's going to pick that one up. The chase down comes in. They're trying to knock down Sven, but he's kiting it just too well. Still, one goes through. Closer picks up that kill, trying to run away. Someday finds a second, and suddenly this Alistar will not be stopped. Blabber's going to fall as well. You forgot about the Aatrox carry. He did all the work there.
What a good call from 100 Thieves. They fully engage on that because Perks is so far away with no teleport for Cloud9. They can force them through 5v4, and Closer's willing to flash, use his stopwatch for it, knowing that he can get the secondary engage, and they fight before Perks is able to arrive for Cloud9. 100 Thieves. Right when Cloud9 had just taken full control, Baron buff and Soul Point on the table for them, they take it away. Damonte now trying to do the same to Perks.
Level deficit. This is tough, though. He's got enough to kill him. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, and now it's time to run away. Can you get away? Closer, gonna look for the swirl seed, gets the slow, gets the smite. Perks gonna have a hard time with this one. Closer has the ulti, doesn't have to burn it just yet. The rest of the combo comes across. There's the wallop. There's the shutdown. Still 2 minutes away from any objective. Assist gold's going to feel pretty good. We can see that Perks to win his 1v1, but not the 1v3.
All right, this one's definitely going to get tense here on the next dragon. Let's take another look at it. So, minimap, as I said, Perks is all the way bottom side on that minion wave, so 100 Thief comms are just yelling for it. 5-on-4 chance. This is it. They've got Baron buff, but we have the numbers. Teleport in. Double forms of engage, and they finally are able to chase down Sven through all the shields, through all the heals. Someday goes to finish him off, and with that, the damage is gone from the Cloud9 squad.
Yeah, Tank Udyr just not going to put enough out there. Honestly, his damage spikes at level 9. You get rank 5 Phoenix, and then it just falls off a cliff as you scale nothing else. Your Sunfire upgrade was done a while ago. They start ignoring you as health bars and magic resist just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and suddenly you can ignore the champion. Yep, Sven was the damage output, and they dove him, and he died, and Perks wasn't there to follow up the rest, so well done. Dragon up in 50 seconds. Baron buff has timed out. Items come across. We are within 200 gold of these teams. The gold has gone back and forth and back and forth, and this is match point. Keep in mind, Cloud9 cannot afford to lose this game. 100 Thieves can't really afford to lose this dragon. I don't think they ever win the game when C9 gets mountain, so they're trying for a dive in the mid lane. Someday they're very, very, very tanky. They will get the turret instead, but they are far away from this dragon still. They've got to make their way down pretty quickly if they want to make that play. But right now, they don't seem that interested.
Yeah, they still have so much sustain for themselves. They can just power through, turbo on this secondary turret, and then rotate over through this Vision. This time around, they've got Vulcan and Blabber to face check Vision. And 100 Thieves, they know they got that last teamfight victory out of a missed position from Cloud9. Perks bottom side with no teleport. This time around, all 5 Cloud9 members are there. Someday's in a position to flank, but it still will be hard to crack through. Eyes on Perks, eyes on Sven. The 2 big damage dealers for Cloud9.
Smite fight might be there. It's going to be picked up just in time. This is going to be a tough fight for 100 Thieves, but can they make it work? Fudge on the front line has to run away. He's got to run. He gets jumped up by Tom Kench. He's running. He will be traded 1-for-1 so far. Closer burns the Zonia's Hourglass. Blabber left alone. Gets the shield in time. Flash to safety. Closer is going to fall, and the mountain shields are going to come back. 100 Thieves have to get out fast. And a great ult for the Montague. Pops it, then runs away, gives his team some safety. But the jungler is dead. Cloud9 in a 4v3 can run right at this Baron.
Yep, that's got to be it. Cloud9 with the Dragon Soul as well as the Baron now. This time around, 5-on-5, they're able to kite it out. Nobody could get on Sven. Nobody even got on Perks. Fudge, yes, he does drop, but that is the casualty you are willing to make, Freak. Both endgame buffs now for Cloud9. They're not done yet. They're making the first step towards their reverse sweep in game number 3 here. They have set themselves up with a huge, huge advantage. All right, looking once again. They're looking at the flanks. This is critical for Cloud9 this time around. They engage on the Alistar and turn on Someday to try and peel for their carries. Meanwhile, Blabber's able to hit the smite. Blabber gets the dragon for them, and the Mountain Soul, as you mentioned, is going to be the big reward here. So with the flash afterwards, he's able to get out on top side, and Cloud9 will now be able to march once again towards victory. 100 Thieves still trying to push.
They're going to find a 3v1 into Blabber right now. He's going to fall asleep as well. Demonte's even there for the 4th. Blabber just runs and runs and runs. He's just too tanky. Full tank Udyr doing well. Look at that champion damage across this game. It's all Sven. He's like half of the team's damage right now, putting out so much work. Once again, close on the front side. Double root comes in. Sven just keeps being the carry. Perks gets a kill credit. Fudge gets a second, but it's still all Sven all the time. As Mortal Reminder comes through to cut even more healing. And at this point, there's just no more team fight to be had. They're just too tanky.
Yep, they've got too many heals and shields and speed, Freak. Blabber here, gonna get the buffs once again for Lulu. You gotta watch out for these tower dives. He'll run straight at you. With the Baron buff, Cloud9 forcing down through this inhibitor. 20 seconds left on both Huhi and Closer. Don't think they want to risk the tower dive here, but it looks like they are gonna continue the push. How much damage can they get?
Can get a lot right now. It's still 10 seconds on respawn time. Result comes across for a shield for the dive to be a little bit easier. On to FBI they go. He ults for a bit of safety, but there's still Blabber right in front. Goes for damage. Can't quite find enough. Someday re-engages now as Uhi's alive, and now they've got Closer as well. 5-on-5 inside the base. Baron buff still on for a while. Mountain Drake obviously still quite nice as well. Here comes the re-engage for Huhi. Gonna get chomped up. There was not a kill on the Senna. Closer goes in, gets the sleep onto everyone he possibly can. Is this going to be enough? Vulcan to the front line, gets the big shield. Perks on a rampage, finds that kill, but it's traded back now. 1-for-1, 4v4. As Blabber's going to get dropped down as well. A polymorph might drop down someday, but he's still just too big. And Rise brings in reinforcements. A triple kill for FBI. And Zen has to find some way to run away from this one. He's going to get as far as he can, as fast as he can. But that fight was a 3-for-1. He's going to sidestep, deal some damage, but the flank is still coming. Huhi might not win this one. They might not stop the recall either. FBI's going to find him and not get him in time. So it's going to stop the bleeding at only a -2 on the team fight. But Thieves can still battle back.
100 Thieves, they're pushed into the brink of it here. Nexus turret under fire. They've only got one left standing, but they win the critical fight here. All right, level 18 on Someday. Damonte at 16, looking to follow. They need to push out these side waves once again because they're going to have continued duty of clearing out these super minions towards mid, and it's only 2 minutes 20 seconds on this Elder Dragon spawn. Either team can definitely win off of that team fight on Elder Dragon. You know, Dragon Soul or not, that is going to be the fight that matters. If they get this flank and can actually take out the carry once again, Sven critically will not have flash this time around on Senna. And he has one of the 2 power points here for Cloud9 that 100 Thieves are using everything they have to get the flank, to get that engage on.
So a close game still. A 1,000 gold difference separates 100 Thieves from clinching this match and making it to the finals. That fight once again in the base. They go for the dive. It's not quite enough, and the re-engage is good for 100 Thieves.
Yep, okay, we look at it. Kaisa kiting up here on the top side. It's just Udyr damage, so him and Damonte are able to fend him off while the rest of Cloud9 does deal with that, Nexus turret themselves, but then Someday getting back up, able to go in for the engage. He starts it off with a knock up here. Closer flashes in to get this sleep. He does land it, and even though he dies, it's such a worthy sacrifice. No more damage here for Cloud9 as they're kiting back. Sven is trying his best to fend off Someday, but the healing from Aatrox enough as he overwhelms and they chase down the last of the kills. And it comes up to this, Freak. 57 seconds on this Elder Dragon. Cloud9 can set up first, but 100 Thieves actually have decent amount of vision check here. 2 Scryer orbs are available to them as well. So what you want to do is you want to push out your mid wave. You want to run down mid, clearing out the supers while you position for contesting the Elder Dragon. Because giving that one up is just too much of a tip-in power. That allows just the damage of Perks and Sven to be enough, to get those executions with the buff to win you that team fight. So 100 Thieves need to try and push out that mid wave first so they can rotate over towards the river.
Well, mid wave going to be cleared out. 15 seconds roughly on the Dragon to come back up here. And Someday helps to look at the Wolves, takes down a couple of the small ones. They're going to let Closer get the big one. Perks walks in, level 18 already. Someday the same. The 2 melees with big swords are the ones kind of carrying the front lines of both fights in a way. Sven, of course, still doing a lot of the damage, but wherever Yone and Aatrox go, so do go the teams. Vulcan going to try to try to hold that brush, I should say, keep them away as Elder Dragon is being started. Someday waiting in the wings, going to be maybe jumping over the wall here. More poke comes through for Sven, can Q through the wards to get more across, but that's on cooldown right now. Perks wants in, has the knockup for 1. Doesn't want to go for any more. He did burn the ultimate, which means it's go time for the team fight. FBI comes in on a Perks, has to burn the stopwatch, and here comes Rise in the backline as well by himself. Gonna try to make it happen on the Fudge. He's getting low, he's gonna get shut down. It's 2-for-0. Finally, they will kill off the Yone, but I don't know if they can knock down this Dragon in time. Blabber gonna kite it away. Someday tries to tank up, gets his big shield, and it's gonna be enough. He's still getting locked down. Cloud9 pushed back, but the re-engage could be enough. Somebody's at 200 HP. Closer tries, but can't do enough. It's flashes away for safety. This fight cannot be won by 100 Thieves. Will there be a chase? There's a Tom Kench, there's an Udyr, there is all the fight, but look at the healing. Someday might knock down Fudge. Redemption buys a bit of time. Chomps up the Lulu, keeps them safe as well. Then FBI will go down. Someday versus the world, and he will drop. Might have a cooldown left up. It's not gonna happen. That's gonna be the Bud Light Ace. Cloud9 will live another day.
Oh my goodness, Cloud9 make their march towards the reverse sweep here, Freak. Sven has put in work. Are you kidding me? We're gonna have to combine the damage done and healing stats together to get a full look at combat stats for Sven. kiting with the rest of the team. They're too tanky to kill off. Vulcan continually devouring him, giving them the extra space. Now they're going to finish it off. Last Nexus turret is going down.
Easy kill on Demonte, closer respawns now. They could have waited to make the 3v4 happen in front of turrets, but now it's just going to be the Nexus falling. It's going to be Cloud9 taking the victory here in Game 3 to stay alive in the series. The KDA gets patted. Cloud9 finally take a win over 100 Thieves.
Support Senna, huh? Sven making that look good, because in that last fight, the focus on 100 Thieves was on killing Perks. Since he E'd early, he was attacked inside the Dragon Pit. They had Kai'Sa ult in on him, trying to burst him down, buying time with the stopwatch. They still finish him off, but the 4-member squad of Cloud9, kiting back, protecting Sven, keeping him up, and with the constant long range plus slows, he's able to whittle them down. They can't sustain through this chase, and Cloud9 scrape their way back into it.
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible game overall. Very scrappy, back and forth. Thought it might have gone 100 Thieves' way after all. I have to give credit again to the great smite from Blabber back in the previous Dragon battle, just to guarantee the Mountain Soul, because that was like a 4v2 on the other side of the fight, and he walks up and he's like,
yeah,
boop, we're going to take Soul, we're ready to team fight now. Like, that was what let them get the Baron, crack the middle inhibitor, and get the lead they even had. An incredible bout now between these teams. Sven is putting the entire team on his back. Incredible by him. He's got some help, but it's so much from him right now. Regardless, a very good series. We're going to Game 4 pretty soon, but we are going to step away. When we come back, we're going to break down that win at State Farm Analyst Desk, so stay tuned.